When a fresh-faced guy in a Chevy offered him a lift, Parker told him to go to hell. And that is how The Hunter begins. And what begins is one of crime fiction's most famous and popular characters, Parker, with this book, The Hunter, which has been considered by many to be one of the greatest first books of all time, and has been considered by a lot of crime fiction fans to be one of the best crime novels ever written. And I am not here to disagree. This book is fantastic. Hello, my friends. My name is Britton, also known as Samoki Dude, and today, if you couldn't gather already, I am covering The Hunter from Richard Stark, also known by his real name, Donald Westlake. Now, this book is really well known, but it's not a book that's covered very often on YouTube, which I think is a shame, because it's actually a very well done book for the most part. It's a book that is lean, it is to the point, and it doesn't waste any time. Much like the main character who this book is written about. I don't know if I should call him Richard Stark or Mr. Westlake, but I will just call him Mr. Stark for simplicity's sake. But Mr. Stark writes a very lean book. There is no lick of fat in this. This is probably some of the cleanest prose I have ever read in a book. And the storytelling in this is just unbelievably brisk. It is brisk, to the point, doesn't waste any time, and I really like this book for this reason. It makes the book a very easy read, but it also makes it very entertaining. And it's just, there's not like I said, there's not a lick of fat. Parker it's very much, the book really fits the character, because Parker is a very laconic, straight to the point, no nonsense kind of guy. And this is the type of book that this is. This is hard-boiled noir at hard-boiled noir's best. Parker is an iconic character. He is the epitome of a hard-boiled protagonist. Cynical, jaded. He doesn't chain smoke, but he does smoke a little bit. There are some stuff in this that would probably not fly today. The treatment of women, for one, that might offend some people. It's not as egregious as some other books, but then again, Parker isn't a very nice man, so that kind of makes sense. But this book is enjoyable because of the briskness of it. There is no time to breathe. This book knows exactly what it wants to do, and in a measly, almost 200 pages, this is almost novella length, I think Richard Stark does a really good job with that. And there's also the point of Parker himself, who I think is a really scary character for a lot of reasons. Now, my friend Josh, also known Josh Pantalaresco from Just Joshing, he talked to me about why do I think that Parker is a scary character? Well, it's sort of that his bluntness and his straightforward nature is pretty scary. He's basically like the Terminator. If you piss him off or screw him over in any way possible, he will come after you and he will kill you. Nothing is going to stop him. If you have a crime organization backing you up, he will burn them to the ground if that means getting to you. And I don't know, that just seems kind of scary to me. There's also the fact that he's just cold to the bone. There's just little emotion in him. I mean, he gets betrayed by his wife, and when he gets revenge on his wife, he barely seems to be even bothered by it. It's almost like he's completely indifferent to anybody who's around him, as long as they can serve his interests, of course. He doesn't really seem to care for anybody. He just seems to he's just a ruthless pragmatist, really, if I could say so myself. And there's something kind of scary about that. It also makes you wonder how the hell people think they could get one over on this guy, even though they know just exactly what he's capable of, but I digress. And then again, we got like 20-something of these, so, yeah. So, clearly, there's some really stupid-ass people out there. There. I suppose this also counts as my first comic book review as well. Sadly, I don't own it, but I have to mention the late Darwin Cook's adaptation of The Hunter that came out in like 2000. I don't even know when it came out. Like 2010, 2011, 2012, somewhere like that. And to be fair to you guys, I actually read the comic adaptation first before I actually read the book. And I really enjoyed it. I really like Darwin Cook. I like his very old school style. I actually have DC: The New Frontier over here, which might be my favorite of his work, but I really did enjoy his Parker novel. I really like how he used the comic book language, the language of sequential art, to tell the story of the hunter. And he doesn't just do it verbatim, word for word, even though a lot of the adaptation is pretty solid, like very close to this book right here. But he uses but I like how Darwin Cook uses the comic book medium in order to differentiate himself from the original novel and not just regurgitating it for the audience. And I really respect that from Darwin Cook. And it sucks that he died, and it's one of those cases where I didn't grow to appreciate him until after he died. And it's really sad. I did write a review of both this and the comic book, and I really enjoy Darwin Cook's comic adaptation of The Hunter. And I do hope to read his other comic adaptations of the Parker novels at some other point. But going back to the book, I really enjoyed it. There's not really much else to say because it's such a straightforward story, and there's not really much going on. Parker is almost a void, just a force of nature. He kind of reminds me of the Punisher, if the Punisher was a thief. If you piss him off or wrong him in any way, he'll kill you. Enough said. And there's something about that cold pragmatism that's kind of scary, but as my friend Josh pointed out, it is kind of respectable that he is so straightforward like that. But I don't know. Maybe he's giving him too much credit, if you ask me. But another thing I really enjoy about this book is the refreshing lack of romance when it comes to the crime genre. Crime isn't sexy in this. The criminals in this are ruthless, brutal, just completely amoral scumbags. You do not want to deal with any of these people, unless you want to die, or you're also a terrible person. But I digress. This book does not make the crime life sexy. It shows that you kind of have to be a really awful, ruthless individual in order to make it as a criminal. And nobody exempts this more, or nobody exemplifies this more than Parker does. And Stark doesn't hold back. Now, certainly he doesn't go into super dark territory like Dennis Lehane or James Ellroy or any of those other guys. But he certainly gets pretty dark. A lot darker than what you'd expect from a book from the 1960s. I think this came out in 62, if I remember right. Let me check. Let me see. Yep, 1962. And, but yeah, I really enjoyed this book, and there's not really much else to say. And as for the comic book adaptation, really great too if you want to check it out, if you don't want to read the book, or if you do want to read the book and read the comic book adaptation to see how it fares pretty well. I think it's a really good book. And the comic book adaptation is a very strong adaptation of the original source material. I definitely will be covering more of the Parker novels at some point on YouTube. There's 20 of them, so I don't know if I'll cover them all, but I'll certainly cover more than just The Hunter. I think that the Parker novels deserve more love, even though it's really popular among crime fans like me. And if you like pulpy stuff, Josh, I think you'll enjoy this. And I'm talking about another Josh, by the way, not Josh Pantaloresco. But yeah, The Hunter. Really good book. Highly recommend it. Very clean. You'll probably finish this in a day or two. I finished this in 3 days. So, because, I'm not a slow reader, but I tend to try and stretch it out a little bit. So, probably you could finish this in a sitting, but a couple of days at least you could finish this. So yeah, that's my review of The Hunter. So on another note, I decided that I should try and reach out to my audience. I have a very small one, so maybe there's not going to be a lot of you, but I have a Discord. And the Discord is where I run a lot of my stuff from That's not the right way to put it. I want to connect more with you guys, and I want to talk to you all. I want to hear from you guys. So if you want, go down to my link below. I will link my Discord down in the description. Join it. There's no money or anything involved. Come talk to me. I would love to talk to you guys and interact with you. And if you want to send stuff or send me recommendations of books to read, please, I beg you, do it. I will gladly try and pick up I'm always looking for more stuff to read, even comics. So, yeah. That's pretty much all I got for today. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of The Hunter, and also please go check out my Discord in the link in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.